What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Going to do another video on a ceramic coating and the process. So I'm going to take you along for the ride on the ceramic coating on the Audi. So for those of you that have never done a ceramic coating before, it's really not that hard. If you take your time and you follow the right steps and the right procedure, and you have the right tools, you can actually do this yourself. The most important part about a ceramic coating is the paint prep. The most important part about a ceramic coating process is the paint prep. I cannot stress that enough. What you're basically doing is you're sealing in the top layer with a layer of silica dioxide, which is basically liquid glass. That's basically what a ceramic coating is, and it's a semi-permanent product. So if you basically have paint imperfections, you have swirl marks, and you have stains from bird crap or dried rain or dried water spots on your clear coat, then all you're going to be doing is sealing that in, and that is exactly the opposite of what you want. So what you have to do is you have to prep the paint. Okay, now the way to prep the paint is to do basically 3 steps. 1, you can do a clay bar. 2, a compound. And 3, a polish. Once you do those 3 things, the car should be in good shape and it should look good and there shouldn't be any swirl marks. And so that's basically kind of what we're doing here. Now, when I got this car, there was some random overspray on the car, and I showed you guys in a previous video that I had to get rid of that, and that took a lot of extra work that you normally don't have to do. So I had to clay bar this car. Then I got I got a synthetic clay bar, and I showed you guys that synthetic clay bar. I would highly recommend a synthetic clay bar. That really made life a lot easier for me. I was able to get those sort of white overspray sort of wax marks that were on the car. I got the car used. It had 5,600 miles on it. So I needed to get that off the car before I can put a ceramic coat on. Again, the paint had to be corrected, so I had to get all the swirl marks off. I had to get any white dots off, bird crap spots, all that stuff, and I got it all off. So first thing is clay bar. All right, get all the hard contaminants off the paint. Second thing is compounding. All right, so basically take an orbital polisher, a random orbital machine, get a cut pad, and then all you got to do is get a nice compound and just compound the car. That's going to get rid of probably 90 to 95% of all swirl marks that you see on cars, especially black. And when you have a black car, that's really kind of where you're going to see those swirl marks. Black looks amazing when it's clean, but it's the hardest to keep clean. Remember, swirl marks are man-made. Swirl marks are caused by us people washing their car and not treating their paint correctly, so that when you wash a car, when you're drying it, typically is when it happens, and you take a dry rag and you start rubbing the car dry in a circular motion. If there's any dirt particles left or you're rubbing too hard, you're just basically putting swirl marks in the clear coat, not the paint, but the clear coat. And that's why we can fix it. It's fixable because it's not actually in the paint, it's in the clear coat, and that's a key factor about how we correct this. So we're just cutting a layer of that clear coat right off the top of the car, and that gets rid of the swirl marks. So a swirl mark essentially is a valley. It's a cut inside that clear coat. So all we're doing is we're kind of sanding that down, and we're going to get rid of that valley, and then you don't see the swirl mark anymore. Then you have to polish it. All right, again, take a random orbital machine, polish the car, and once you do that, you're going to bring back that luster. From cutting the clear coat off, it's going to kind of dull the finish a little bit. You got to polish it to bring that back. Now, once you've done all that, the final step is to wash the car, okay, one last time. Get the car very, very clean, get all the debris off of the paint. Then what you have to do is you have to spray the car down with an isopropyl. An isopropyl is going to get rid of all the oily residues, any of the waxes, any of the compound, anything at all that we've used on the car to get the paint to look good. This is going to get rid of all of that, because, okay, when you apply the clear because when you apply the ceramic coating to the paint, okay, you want it to adhere to the car. You want it to have a perfectly clean surface to adhere to that car. So that's that final step. So right now what I'm doing is I'm washing the car, I'm getting it ready to go. Then I'm going to do the isopropyl, which is very simple. You just spray the car, wipe it down, very, very easy with a nice microfiber, and that's it. But before I do this, I want to show you guys a before and after. So I want to show you the beading properties. One of the things that's so awesome about ceramic coating is the hydrophobic properties. So this is the before, right? Here is what the car looks like when you spray it with water, right? You can see the sheeting action. You can see that there's really not much hydrophobic action going on, right? You can see the sheeting action, right? You can see how the paint is in great shape. The paint looks terrific, but you can see it's sheeting, right? So I'm gonna show you this now, so that way afterwards, when we are all done, I'm going to be able to show you the hydrophobic properties of the car. All right, so anyway, I got to wash the car real quick. All right, quick tip. When you are drying your car, if you have a leaf blower, use it. The swirl marks, again, come from us touching the car. The more you touch the car, the more that you're rubbing something, anything, even a soft cloth, into the car. You're taking a chance of picking up debris or dirt or grime or whatever it is, and you're just going to rub it right into the clear coat of your car. So dry your car first with a leaf blower. And I'll tell you this, once you ceramic coat a car, because of the hydrophobic properties, when you use something like this, your car will be about 90 to 95% dry, because the water will literally just shoot off of the car. So use this to get rid of most of the moisture, the water, and then you can use a nice light soft cloth to take care of the excess. All right, so car's all cleaned up, car is dry. I am about to put the isopropyl on to prep the car for the ceramic coating. However, even since I just did all this work to prepare the paint, I found a sort of scratch in the car, probably just from driving. So let me show this to you. Let me get my light here. All right, so tell me here. Let me see if I can get that so you can see that. There it is. See that white scratch? That is about the width of a quarter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compound that out right now. So I'm going to show you what compounding can do and how it works and how important it is to be able to do this. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking my random orbital, make sure I put it down to the lowest setting first. Then I'm going to take my cutting compound. Now, Menzerna is a really good compound. This is level 400, so it's a pretty good cut. Use a cutting pad. Put, just a couple dabs, nothing crazy, because we're just trying to get out this one mark. So let me show you what I got. That's it, and I'm just going to basically dab the area that I'm trying to work around. All right, now always start it on the lowest setting. Then you bring the speed up a little bit. All right, and I'm going to work this in like this. Now let's take a look at the results. So we got our microfiber cloth here. We're just going to wipe off that excess. Now that is barely noticeable. Let me see. I will try to show you guys. That is, well, it's right there. That is basically where it was. I don't even know if you can see that. It is basically 95% gone. And so once I put the ceramic coating on that, that'll actually fill that in and you won't even see it. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Clean microfiber, isopropyl, go to town. Spray, wipe the entire surface down, getting all the oils, everything off. Just, you can be pretty liberal with this, it's not a big deal. You're just getting all of the excess oils off the car. Alright, so the time is here. It's time for ceramic coating. Now, very, very important. Got to get a good ceramic coating. I use C-Quartz CarPro C-Quartz. CarPro makes very, very good products for automotive care. Not the highest end, definitely not low end, kind of middle of the grade there, on the pricier side, but I think you get what you pay for. So C-Quartz ceramic coating, you need that. You need an applicator pad, and you need these little suede sort of microfiber applicator covers that you put on top of the pad. Now, bottom line, this is a very simple, oh, and you also need, let's get it. You need Reload, which is from CarPro. Reload is very important. That's the final step, which kind of activates the ceramic coating. Now, when you put the ceramic coating on, very important that you have the ability to keep the car dry. You got to keep the car dry for at least 5 or 6 days to let the ceramic coating cure onto the car. You do not want to get the ceramic coating wet. You don't want it out in the elements, getting rained on. Don't wash your car. Don't do any of that. If you do drive the car, which is okay, but do not make sure you don't get bird shit on it. If you do, get it off as quickly as possible. But that goes without saying anyway. All right, so bottom line, we're going to be putting this on in a cross-hatch pattern, 2x2, 3x3 sections, meaning that when I get my applicator pad right here, I'm going to put the ceramic coating on it, and I'm going to put it on in a cross-hatch pattern. It's going to look like this. We're going to go cross, 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 and then I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm going to come back the other way, and I would only do maybe 2x2, 3x3 sections at a time, nothing more than that. Now, once you put this on, this particular product, other products might work a little bit differently, but once you put this particular product on, it is going to haze over. And it's only going to take about 60 to 90 seconds for this process to happen, so you have to be ready for it. What's going to happen is, where you put the ceramic coating on the car, it's going to start to look like a rainbow. It's going to start to haze over and get sort of a rainbow shade. You'll see the light if you have some nice LEDs in your garage. You're going to see this hazing effect. Once it starts to haze, that's when you wipe it off with a clean microfiber cloth. You wipe it off, you buff it off. Okay, you buff it in. Now, you're not actually wiping it off the car, you're just buffing it in. You have to get rid of that. Now, you have to also be mindful of where you put the ceramic coating on your car, because you need to start the next 2 or 3 foot section right next to where you just started. It can be a little tricky because the ceramic coating, it doesn't really stand out, so you have to kind of be aware of where you are in the process, because if you're not careful with the way you wipe it down, if you layer the ceramic coating, you can start to see some ripples. if you do, like the next day or the day after, you see sort of thicker areas of the ceramic coating, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Go get yourself a compound, which you should already have because you corrected the paint before you did this process. All you have to do is get a little compound, put it on a microfiber, and just go ahead and buff that part out of the car. It's not a big deal. If you need to even redo that part of the ceramic coating, you can do that. This is not permanent. This is not a process that can't be undone. So don't be afraid to do it. Just be smart, take your time, but you can absolutely do this. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I will show you guys a little bit of the progress that I do on the hood. Also, very important, make sure you have brand new edgeless, I use edgeless microfibers. It's not a requirement that you use edgeless microfibers, but I really like edgeless. I got this stuff on Amazon, pretty basic. All you have to do is look up edgeless microfibers. Looks like that. There's no edge, there's no seam, there's nothing that could be, you know, causing a swirl mark or a scratch. These are perfectly clean microfibers. You definitely want cleans. Now, by the way, when you finish up with these, throw them away. Do not use don't reuse a microfiber that you've used with ceramic coating, because ceramic coating is a hard silica dioxide. So once it starts to harden, it will crystallize, and you will basically have little pieces of shard glass inside this microfiber, and it will scratch the hell out of your car. So once you use these, throw them out. All right, so let's get going. All right, so we're going to take our applicator pad right here, and we're going to take our little suede cloth. We're going to wrap it on the top just like that. We're going to take our C Quartz Ceramic Pro 3.0, and we are just going to do a 1, 2, 3, and that is really all you need. It kind of comes out nicely. Now I'm going to start over here. So now, I'll see if I can show you guys the hazing effect. So, this is the ceramic coating on the car. You can kind of see how it's dark around this area right here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just simply waiting. I'm waiting for this to haze over. Now, when this starts to haze over, what I'm looking at is the light. I'm looking at the light in the ceiling, and I'm looking at it in the paint, and I'm looking for the haze. Now, if you don't have a good light, LED light in your ceiling, you know, I would definitely make sure that you buy an LED light. You can get one like this, pretty simple, and you can keep an eye on how this hazes over. So just let it take its time. Again, depending on the weather, depending on the temperature, right? Depending on the temperature outside and the conditions that you're in right now, you basically want to let it do its thing, you know, give it. It's raining outside, it's so annoying. Can't stand the rain. All right, let's see what we got. All right, definitely starting to haze over now. I can clearly see that this is starting to haze over. You probably can't see that. I would not be surprised if you cannot see that hazing over effect. I do not know if you can see that, but it is definitely hazing over. So what I'm gonna do is just wipe it off. And that's it. I'm just wiping it off, just buffing it in. Nothing crazy, that's it. All right, looks good. You can barely tell that anything happened there. All right, now I'm going to continue on through the process. All right, guys, what's up? It is the next day. We are done the ceramic coating process. Took about 3 hours last night, and in the garage you really can't see much, so afterwards, so I wanted to show you guys the finished product. But basically all you have to do is just make sure that you work in a 2x2 3x3 section using that applicator pad, sort of that suede microfiber cloth, and then, you know, let it haze over. Usually takes 60 to 90 seconds. Then just buff it in with a nice edgeless microfiber cloth, and you just do that over the entire car. And then you're going to use Reload. Now this only is if you're going to use the Car Pro C-Quartz ceramic coating. Then you use Reload within about an hour, and you just spray it on and wipe it off, and that is a silica dioxide spray, and it kind of activates that ceramic coating. Now the only thing is if you don't have a garage and you can't keep this in a garage and you have to do this outside, just make sure that you have at least good weather for about 4 or 5 days. You do not want this to get wet. I don't want this to get wet. No car washes, no rain. When you do a fresh layer of ceramic coating, you really want that to cure onto the car, and then you're set. Now, being that this is my daily driver, but it is garage kept, this will probably last, I would say 2 years. Now, I could easily throw another layer of ceramic coating on this. Obviously the car's ready, it's prepped, it's done. I could just put another 3 hours. I could ceramic coat the entire car again, putting a second layer on top of it, and it would last probably 3.5 years. Obviously the thicker the coating, the longer durability you're going to get out of that particular coating. So here is the finished results. I don't even know if that is going to come in clear, but that is really a great shine. It is absolutely a mirror finish. I really don't know if that's going to come in, but it looks great. It came out great. The car has a brilliant shine, a nice deep black luster to it. I mean, there you can see me right in there. I mean, look at this. It's like a mirror. You can see me right there. It is 100% a mirror finish on that. It looks great. And after I do my first wash, in a week after it cures on there, I will show you the hydrophobic properties, because I took a video clip of before spraying it down, and you can see the sheeting on the car, not the beading but the sheeting. And now that I have the ceramic coating on there, you will be able to see all of that beading action. So anyway, that's basically it. Car is good to go. We are ceramic coated. It's been a long process from beginning to end, but it's worth it. So for those of you that are out there thinking about doing a ceramic coating, remember the first step and the most important step in any ceramic coating is to do a paint prep. Do not do a ceramic coating on a car that doesn't have the paint corrected. Otherwise, all you're doing is sealing in the imperfections. So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time.